Greetings, and you've been pulled into the Black Dimension. This is Kev and Donnie and Roger, and we are doing our review on the film The Matrix Resurrections. If you will check out our past broadcast, we already did the throwbacks on the Matrix trilogy, and this is a follow up. That was years in the making. How y'all doing, fellas?
Doing great, doing great.
Alrighty. Yeah. All right. We have a rating system before we get started. And I think this is where the rubber's gonna hit the road with like all three of us. Um, we do have we can rate it a buy, bootleg, or a bomb. But yeah, since this came out on HBO Max, if you got access to HBO Max, you'll be able to watch it anyway. What do y'all think, fellas? What is your initial reaction to seeing this film?
It was alright. It was alright.
Hmm. See, here's the thing. Here's the
It
thing.
was it was cool. It was cool.
It was alright. Okay, that doesn't sound like y'all very confident about this one. Like, alright and cool for the Matrix and the standard that it set is not good enough. It isn't. I will go ahead and say this, and a couple of us discussed this earlier. This is like, although it is a decent film, not to say it's completely bad because I love good visual effects and cool fight scenes, but this by far, if you could rank the Matrix films, this is definitely dead last. And it's a shame because I love this franchise. So let's start talking about our issues with the film itself. Definitely go check it out if you're a fan of The Matrix. I mean, just so you can see what we're talking about. So, all right.
I'm gonna say I thought it was a pretty good film. It just did not hold up. It doesn't hold up against the other Matrix films. Yeah, it definitely comes in dead last. Um, but did we officially even say whether this is a bad bootleg, bootleg or bomb? Did we officially even
Okay.
say that?
Well, if it's okay, so my thing is, if it's just an I film for The Matrix and it's the worst of the films, and we've already concluded that, hey, check it out anyway, I will have to say this is a bootleg. Uh,
Yeah,
bootleg just
I,
simply
I, I yeah, I will go with
bootleg
that.
just
I will
simply
go.
means. What about you, Donnie? Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, let's bootleg it. I was bootleg off of Pastel Morpheus alone. So yeah,
Yes. And bootleg simply means, you can still check it out. It'd be alright, just to watch as a afternoon movie on the USA Network, but you ain't got to rush to see it. You know, you ain't got to rush to see it. So this is our official rating, bootleg. Yeah. So now that we got that out the way, let's go into a little spoiler territory. So you guys can cut this video off, and come back to it once you watch the film if you haven't watched the film. Okay, all right. So this movie marks the return of five characters from the original trilogy, and can you name them all? Neo and Trinity, obviously.
we had Granny entanglements,
Yes. Talking about some
Niobe.
Niobe.
Yeah, I guess you mean Smith because he was there.
No, no, no. I'm talking about actual actors. I should have clarified
Actually,
myself.
okay,
We had
okay.
the Mark Moravian, right?
Yeah. Let me see.
Merovingian, yeah,
The
Merovingian,
Merovingian. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
This guy
And
right
then
here.
we had the little girl
Oh, look. How did that get there?
Neo saved in the train.
Oh, yeah, and Donnie,
He
you are
met on the
absolutely
train.
correct. Yep, Sati. Yep, yeah, yep. That it. Because when I was looking at her, I was like, "Damn, that's her for real."
Yeah, I
that
knew
she,
it was uh,
yeah. So, this movie was. It was. I would say that movie served more as a callback to the original trilogy. More so than I would say. They did very little to move the story forward. And the reason why I say that is because like everything was just pretty much like I said, a rehash of the trilogy. Not the worst like the sequel I've ever seen, but it I can't really. I don't like it when the creativity is no longer there. And this is from one of the Wachowskis. The original innovators of the Matrix. Even though the argument is Sophia Stewart is the original writer of the Matrix and the Terminator. Thought we mentioned that. Just for a little reference point. But yeah, I mean, it's that did this film just like blow my socks off? No, it didn't. I mean, I'm sitting, and it's not for the reasons like a lot of these other reviewers are saying. I could care less if Trinity has Neo powers. And let's just go and get that out the way. A lot of y'all just bothered by the fact that Trinity got Neo powers, but at the same time, Trinity is like, and let me remind you guys, Trinity has always been a badass character. You know, and I for one like badass females as long as they don't woke it too much. Yeah. So
What?
go ahead.
Well, even when it comes to that, her Trinity getting on Neo's level as far as power is concerned, it's actually very understandable. She had already been in the Matrix for so long. She already understood and saw what Neo could do. She understands that the rules of the real world truly don't apply in the Matrix. So her achieving that level makes actual sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, anybody could achieve that.
yeah, and it kind of presents a
So,
plot hole
I
as
think
well.
people can say that a little bit.
Yeah,
Well, like I said with my theory is Neo had the code. He infected people. He infected Smith. Therefore, Smith became the quote unquote anti one. He infected Trinity when he stuck his hands in her and started her heart up. Therefore, she gained the ability to use the same, access to the matrix that he does.
yeah. Let me also add this. Remember the first Matrix when Neo was clearly shot and killed by Agent Smith? It was Trinity's voice that brought him back. Her saying, "Oh, I know you're the one. I love you." So they always had that connection anyway. In Matrix Reloaded, when he restarted her heart, yeah, he implanted some of his code, but it does kind of have this plot hole. Is like, why wasn't she any more powerful in Matrix Revolution? But new day, new ideas. I mean, like I could actually get with that.
I don't even see it as a plot hole. I just see it as anyone could achieve what they achieve. But it's about that belief system. It's hard for people to believe when they themselves can perform a miracle. So, to other folks, that was the real world. They totally believe that this is the real world. So to have the ability to fly, most people ain't gonna believe it. And even then, when you wake up from the matrix, you still gonna have some residual belief that when you're in that world, it's like the real world. So therefore, you just don't believe you can do it. But I just see it as anybody could do it. You just got to believe it. But that's a hard belief for people to accept that they're gonna just fly. Hard belief, or to be as fast as an agent, or to stop bullets or catch bullets, whatever. That's a hard thing to sell. That's all I'm saying. So I get why most folks couldn't do it.
I mean, plus they had Neo on their side. I mean, of all the teams of people who would enter the Matrix, I mean, their team had the one. Now, another thing, like the return of the characters, but not the actors themselves. This guy right here, for some reason, is Agent Smith. Donnie? What did you say about him? Donnie's away for now, but
He was
go ahead.
the Gap version of Agent Smith. Don't he look like a model? That man said he was like, they recreated me. They even made me even more perfect with my blue eyes. They seem to be a bit much, though. All right, y'all doing too much.
Yeah, I would have so gotten with like them bringing Hugo Weaving back and de-aging him, But that's it's, I didn't get a chance to look into it, but I don't know why Hugo Weaving didn't return. Maybe he's probably just a little old to be playing Agent Smith and the physical demands, just like Lawrence Fishburne playing Morpheus. Do you guys feel like Yahya Abdul Mateen was a suitable replacement for Larry Fishburne's Morpheus?
That was not Morpheus. Let's not even play that game. Let's not even go down that road. He will be referred to as Pastel Morpheus.
Pastel Morpheus.
Well, well, I mean, this is the thing. He wasn't actually Morpheus. He was a program, so he didn't have to keep up with the other Morpheus. So I didn't really have that weight on him like that. He wasn't the same person. He's just a program running around in the system. That's all he is. So the fact that they called him Morpheus didn't make him have to live up to who Morpheus was, in my opinion. That's how I looked at it. I never looked at them as the same person. This was just a program that was named after Morpheus.
Yeah, he was a Morpheus and Smith reincarnation that he created in the program. Yeah, but calling him Morpheus or Morpheus 2, it just, I don't know, it took the buzz out of it. I mean, he had pastel colors on. I couldn't take him serious.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But I would say, so what about the new characters like Bugs?
I like Bugs, but I'm gonna just keep it real. I just liked how attractive she was.
Yeah, she was fine, but to me, the entire new cast, the way that they projected this show movie, it looked like it was going to be a TV show on TNT.
Yeah, this movie would probably have been a better as a HBO Max series. Yeah, and it probably could have made it work. I mean, it's so much difference in the original trilogy and this film right here. I mean, it just didn't. I just didn't really feel like this movie lived up to the legacy of the Matrix. And let's be fair about it. It was a real tough act to follow from the original trilogy. I mean, even with the Wachowski sister, still, it's like I would say you probably needed both, and it shows. Yeah, and one more criticism of mine. I really didn't like the Merovingian as a character in the original trilogy. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I meant in the throwbacks. But you know, I mean, he was funny, but nah, just
He was a
yeah,
perfect a-hole to me. The perfect a-hole.
I had too much to drink.
Robin Williams
Let me
and
take a
Jumanji,
piece.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the way they brought him back. I mean, shit. How could Agent Smith and Donnie? You had a like you know what happened with this too. Like why did the Merovingian look like such shit when guys like Agent Smith was able to keep it up? And they're both
He, he,
programs.
he escaped and he was living on that train like Homeboy was in the second one.
Oh, or the third one? You mean the trainman?
Yeah, he was living on that train.
Oh yeah, cause yeah, the trainman. Yeah, he looked like three shades of homeless. But in that particular dimension, he was more powerful than Neo. So okay. Anyway, also one more thing, like they mentioned that there was a machine civil war in the film, and they had like a lot of the machines on their side. Um, I would have to say it probably would have made a better film to watch the machine civil war. You know,
Where you'll
Vita-
get that this
I think
season
that
on TNT.
can.
Monday nights at
I think
7.
that could make a good film, though. I think that could make a good film.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have made it better. Now, there were some cool things. Like, I kind of like the little swarm thing. It didn't make any sense because what you were doing is you were getting rid of a lot of crop. You're getting rid of a lot of batteries doing that shit. Like, when people just they like the swarm thing is when they people who are plugged in, just start to attack. Like, it's almost like what the agents used to do, except for it's not. Possess people and just fuck some motherfuckers up. But anyway, yeah, this movie right here, like I said, this movie right here is not one I would say you have to rush to go see if you're a fan of the nostalgia of the Matrix. It might do something for you, but as far as us, like uh, here I can speak for me. I don't think it's like a rewatch. It ain't like a Avengers Endgame where I could just rewatch it 10 times or whatever, or a Captain America Winter Soldier. It's just one of those films that I can kind of put on the shelf, and if I need to reference it at any point, I will. But what about what y'all think, fellas?
You know what? I think I mean I can agree with that. I'm not in any hurry to rewatch it. I think I will at some point, but I'm not in a hurry to do so. And I think that when you let that many years go by, the anticipation level is not going to build the way you may want it to build. So I'm not going to say the movie was a letdown. It was a little bit different. Yeah, it kept up the show. It's in that involved in that same world, but too much time had passed for it to be for me to really get it the way they wanted me to. I just say that.
I
I
agree.
didn't have the reaction they wanted.
Had they done this movie 3, 4 years later, we be in here like, oh yeah, oh this is a great movie, it was a wonderful, fantastic. But they chose to wait, a decade plus, and in between we had the MCU. That's on them. That's
Not that's a good point. That is a good point as well. You know, when we first saw this stuff happen, it was still revolutionary. Now we can get these quote unquote sensations from a lot of the places at this point. And by
Yeah,
other
because
places,
this
I mean films and television shows.
Yeah, because at the time of this film's release, it was groundbreaking. Now you done had like groundbreaking after, like with other franchises, groundbreaking after groundbreaking after groundbreaking. So you're just one in many right now, and I feel like they should have went all out. They probably felt like they did, but it just didn't look that way. Uh, but anyway, let me remind you of what we rated this movie at the beginning. We rated it bootleg, meaning that just like I said, maybe one Thursday afternoon on TNT when you have your nice, crisp, sparkling water, you can sip and, watch Keanu Reeves in action. I would also say is this movie was originally supposed to come out on a day they christened Keanu Reeves Day. It was supposed to be released with John Wick 4. Um, but because of the
okay.
pandemic, it didn't happen. So now we're waiting on John Wick 4, but it 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 only seems like Keanu Reeves' day would have been half as good. So, do y'all have anything to say? Any other thing to say? So we can wrap this up.
Well, I think it was a good film. It just came a little late. I will eventually watch it again, but it's not in my plans this week. Not saying it's a bad film. It was a good film. Just yeah, there's no reason to hurry to watch it. It's gonna be there, and I'll see it at some point. I can't even think to tell you when I'm gonna even try to see it, but I'll see it at some point again, just to see what I missed in the particular film. But I'm not rushing to see this one again at all.
I'll read an online spoiler. Listen, y'all tune in Tuesdays, right after Leverage on TNT, The Matrix TV.
All right. All right. So I think that, point made, point got across. So, once again, everybody who watched, thank you for joining us. This has been our review of The Matrix Resurrection. You can go see it. I would say it. If you enjoy yourself, then so be it. But we bootlegged it. So, anyway, on behalf of my esteemed colleagues, you guys have been pulled into the black dimension. Good luck finding your way out. Till the next time.